Right, sports fans, it's the new year, and I'm coming here with my first episode in 2026. We're going to be talking NBA right now, episode number 2 here on GT Sports. My name is Gabriel Trevino, and I just wanted to come and create a little video before the game start. We have a couple of games on the NBA schedule that I'm very interested to. Games that we played on Prime Video, the San Antonio Spurs. I watch them on FanDuel Sports Network, so I'll be definitely watching my Spurs again tonight. But just wanted to come in and talk a little bit of NBA for the new year. Talk about some of the games that are on the schedule. Some interesting ones. Some that have really just they're playing, but they're not gonna make the playoffs. But we still got to talk a little bit about them. So again, let me put the schedule up here for today's games, and we'll talk a little bit. I'll give you my predictions and let you know who I think is going to win. See if I can go undefeated. That doesn't happen a lot, but see if I can do that tonight. So let's start off with the first game. Like I said, I'll be watching this game. The San Antonio Spurs traveling to Indiana to take on the Pacers. I'll talk a little bit about the Pacers first. It's been a tough year for them. I don't even think they're at double-digit wins. Obviously, with Halliburton out, we knew that they were going to struggle. They traded away Miles Turner, and then they have some injuries. So I didn't think they were going to be at the top this year, starting the season like they were last year. They were in the NBA Finals. But I didn't expect a drop this bad. They're really not good this year. And Pascal Siakam is the guy that kind of you talk about this year. He's the dude, but just not racking up a lot of those W's. And so because of that, and because of the way they played, obviously I have the San Antonio Spurs going in there and beating them. First of all, I love the Spurs. Wembanyama, I must say, he'll be out. I watched the game against New York, and I'll talk about that here briefly. But he hyperextended, I think, his knee. He'll be out for maybe 2 or 3 games. I'm not sure when he'll be back. Not going to be out long, but he will definitely not be available for this game. That being said, though, they beat the New York Knicks without Wemby, right? So, and they've won a lot of games without Wemby this year. When you think about Castle and De'Aaron Fox and Keldon Johnson and Harper, Dylan Harper and Harrison Barnes and Cornette, and I mean they got some guys. And San Antonio can definitely win big games. They've done it this year without Wembanyama. Of course, they're better with Wemby. But I think they can go in. They should be able to go into Indiana and win that game. Now, games like this kind of scare me because I watched basketball a lot. And games you're supposed to win because obviously, if you look at paper, right, San Antonio's better than Indiana. But you never know. These are the games that kind of scare you because San Antonio should win by every measure, and then they end up losing. So I hope they come out with some energy. I hope they come out like the energy that they had when they played OKC, the way they played against New York, and then we'll get the win. I hope they don't come out slouched a little, not with no energy, flat, because then I think a team like Indiana, who's got nothing to lose at home, they could feed off their crowd. And this would be a good win for them, right? Should Indiana be able to beat one of the top teams in the West. So I'm hoping that San Antonio will go in to this game and really beat them pretty bad. I'm talking about 15-plus points, right? I don't want it to be a close one. I definitely don't want to lose. So I have the Spurs winning this game, even without Wemby. They should, but you never know. Let's go back to the New York game, man, with Wemby, when Wemby got hurt. I thought for sure. I said, man, we're done, right? You just kind of saw in the fourth quarter. I just said they just don't have enough. But they got hot. And JC, man, I think he had 11 threes. And man, he was hot. He got hot at the right time. And then and that was a great win for them, right? That told me a lot about the Spurs, right? They've already shown that, beating the best team in the NBA 3 times in about a 2-week period told me a lot. And then you see what their start out, and they find a way to win. Right, they were down, advantage New York, and then San Antonio finds a way to dig deep and get that win. And I thought that was a huge win against a really good New York team that I think is going to be in the NBA Finals representing the East. So that was huge, and they found a way to win. And so, obviously you won't win Wembanyama playing. You don't want to say, well, yeah, we can win without him. We have, but we're better with Wemby, right? Because Wemby does just so much. He's just such a different maker. So I'm glad that this injury that he had, that I'm reading the reports that it's not serious, and he should be back in maybe miss 2 to 3 games of that. Is great, but tonight is it's not a big game, so I don't want to make it like a big game like when they play OKC or New York, but it is a game that I think they need to win. This month coming up, they're going to have some games, and so you have to, if you're San Antonio, you have to win the games you're supposed to win, and tonight is a game that they should win. So I want them to come out. I'll definitely be watching. I want to see that energy, and I just want to really end this game in the first half. I don't want to go into the third, fourth quarter and it be a close game, because then that'll be a little scary. So we'll see how San Antonio comes out, but they should get the win against Indiana. Brooklyn and Washington is also on the schedule. I didn't put a lot of thought into this because, well, they're two teams that aren't going to be in the playoffs, right? I do have the Brooklyn Nets winning this game just for prediction purposes. I think I hope they win. Because I picked them, but both teams are bad, so I think this could go either way. The next game will be a game that you can see on Prime Video tonight. You have the Denver Nuggets taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. For me, Cleveland, a little disappointing, right? Because I see, on paper they're so talented, yet they underachieve every year, or they have since Donovan Mitchell has been was traded to them, right? They are a team that should have already been in the NBA Finals. This is a year for them because of all of the injuries, right? And yet they're not even at the top of in the East, right? They're like 6, 7, 8 games, something like that, 5 games behind first place, which I don't think they belong there. So again, I think for me, Cleveland's underachieving. Tonight they're going to play Denver. Denver. Without the Joker, Nikola Jokic will not play. He's out for about a month, I think I saw or read. So with him not coming to play tonight and the team playing in Cleveland, obviously my prediction was for Cleveland because I think Nikola is just like this guy, when he doesn't play, like I'll tell you what they're missing tonight from him. From the Joker, he usually averages 29.6 points per game. He averages 12.2 rebounds a game. He has 11 assists a game, and he shoots 60.5%. That's huge. So now you're going into Cleveland, a team that's really, really good, playing at their house. You got to make up for that. I don't think that they have enough, Denver, to beat Cleveland. So that's why I took Cleveland. Now, if Cleveland doesn't win this game without Denver's best player, Cleveland's got some issues, right? So they've got to win this game. And I would also say not just win at home. They've got to beat Denver down. They've got to send a message out to the other teams in the East, right? Like, we're for real. Because they're that good, right? Yet they underperform. And right now, to me, as I look at the standings, they should be higher than where they're at, yet they're not, right? So just, I think they're underperforming. I think it's a team that should be contending to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know if they'll be there. There's other teams that are starting to play good. Mentioning Philadelphia, I watched them last night. Embiid's healthy. He's playing. Paul George is playing. They got Tyrese Maxey. They got some guys. So I'm just going to say this. If Philadelphia stays healthy throughout the rest of this NBA season, which if Paul George can stay healthy and Embiid stay healthy, then I think Philadelphia has a chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, just like I said New York does too. But that's down the road. We're not talking about Philadelphia. I just wanted to kind of throw them in there because Cleveland has to play better, right? If Philadelphia is healthier and New York stays healthy, then Cleveland's got, if they want to get to the NBA Finals, man, they've got to find a way to beat these teams. Not in the playoffs, but in regular seasons when you play them, right? So tonight, without the Joker, Cleveland needs to win this game, but they need to win big. We'll see if they can do that. And then the next game, you got Atlanta, the Hawks, traveling to New York to take on the Knicks. You've heard me say here that I think they're the best team, and I do. I think New York is the best team currently today in the East. And I do have them playing in the Eastern Conference Finals and even going to the NBA Finals. This is their year. This is the year, I think, where they have to get it done. Even if Philadelphia is healthy, they've got to find a way. Should they play Philadelphia? Should they play Cleveland? Should they play Orlando? Should they play Detroit? Whoever they play, they've got to find a way to win. They need to get into the NBA Finals. This is their year. Playing against Atlanta, Trae Young's been hurt. Atlanta's been a disappointment, right? I thought at the beginning of the season that they would be a team now with what you saw the injuries to Boston and Indiana. I thought, okay, now Atlanta's going to be mentioned with some of these top teams, and they're not. They've been injured, so they've underperformed, but they do have injuries. But playing in New York with Brunson and those dudes, New York should get this win. So I have the Knicks winning this game over the Hawks. Orlando Magic taking on Chicago in Chicago. To the surprise, I got Chicago, and people would say, what are you doing? Orlando's the better team. To me, I looked at their records. You're probably right, but my gut instinct, this was a gut kind of pick, right? Because I'll tell you, let me see if I can find them because I have them here somewhere. See where they at. Oh, there they are. So Orlando, obviously they got some injuries. They got some injuries tonight, but Orlando 19-50 is a little over 500. Chicago Bulls 16-17, little under 500. Just something told me that go Chicago. It was a gut pick, really. Orlando, I would say, is the better team. They do have some injuries, but their record isn't that much better than Chicago. So I just went ahead with Chicago again. It was just a gut pick, just something I felt. So we'll see if Chicago can get this W. The next game we have the Charlotte Hornets taking on Milwaukee. In Milwaukee, obviously I have Milwaukee winning that game over Charlotte. Listen, the thing about Milwaukee is Giannis, right? And because this is to me, we're still early in the NBA season. Will Milwaukee make the playoffs? Yes. I think when the playoffs, and you got the play-in tournament, right? I think they will be one of the teams that will be in the playoffs if Giannis stays healthy. Because Giannis is that good. But in the playoffs, how far will they go? Not very far. They won't beat New York. They won't beat Detroit in a series. They won't beat Philadelphia if they're healthy. They won't beat Cleveland. And I don't even know if they can beat Orlando. So, we'll see. So for me, if you're Giannis, I know you want to be loyal. We've talked about that, and we're going to talk more about that here on our podcast, our NBA podcast. But, at some point, you got to try to win championships. I don't see in the next 5 years that Giannis can win a championship with the Milwaukee Bucks, right? Like, I like Milwaukee. They've won one championship, but I don't see them getting players around Giannis to be able to compete for another NBA title. So where does that leave Giannis, right? He made a commitment to stay and be loyal to them. I respect that. But at the end of the day, I know he wants to win another championship, and I don't think he's going to do it there. So it's a story that I continue to watch because after this season, if he gets into the playoffs and he's done in the first round, then what will happen? Because I think the writing's on the wall for him. I think he understands probably we're not going to win here, right? Jason Tatum will be back next year. That means Boston will be back up there. Halliburton will be back next year. So Indiana should climb out of this and be better next year. We'll see what happens with Atlanta if they're going to make any trades, Trae Young. But, these teams are only going to continue to get better. So I don't know. I don't know if Giannis stays there. For me, I like to see Giannis somewhere else where he could compete because I think he's one of the best players, top 3 players in the NBA right now for sure. And I like to see him in the playoffs, man. And I like to see him go deep because I think when Giannis is playing deep in the playoffs, it's must-see basketball, right? So you don't want to see him one and done or not make the playoffs. That's just the way I feel. I like Giannis. I like watching him play, man. He's dominant, man, right? Like he's hard to stop. So I want to see him deep in the playoffs. I'm just not sure that he's going to get there, and I'm going to get to be able to watch him if he's playing in Milwaukee. Just my thoughts, my 2 cents for today. Let's go to the next game, Portland at New Orleans. There's always that talk about Zion, and look, when Zion's playing, man, he's ruthless, man. He's brutal, like he's brutal. The problem is he's not always playing. Injuries happen to this young man all the time, so he's not always on the court. When he is, I love watching him play because I think he's tough. Like I said, he's brutal, he's ruthless, man. He's tough. I love watching him play. I have the Pelicans beating Portland. Right, it's crazy, right? Because I'm like, what are you doing? They haven't won very many games. Another gut pick today for me was that I just felt like, yeah, they're gonna win it. Something just told me. I didn't read any articles. I didn't even read stats. I just had the feeling that the Pelicans are gonna win. We'll see if I'm right. Next game you have Sacramento and Phoenix. Well, Phoenix has been a surprise to me, right? Like they traded all these guys that start over again. The Durant thing didn't work. So I said, okay, it's probably going to take them some time. But to my surprise, in a tough Western Conference with so many great teams, they're hanging. They're hanging. They're in there. I mean, they're doing their thing. They're not at the top, but they're doing a lot better than I thought they were going to do. And I think when you look at, let me see where they're at. They're 19-14. Devin Booker's the dude, 25 points per game. But he's got some guys with him. It's not just Devin Booker. He's got some dudes. So can they make the play-in tournament playoffs? I think they'll have an opportunity to play and see if they can get themselves into playoffs. But I do think they will be there if they can stay healthy, if Devin Booker can stay healthy. I think they're a team that could make some noise in the play-in tournament, possibly even in the playoffs. We'll see what happens because the West is tough, man. It's tough. So we'll see. We'll see if they can get there. I still got to see a little bit more from Phoenix, but I have them beating Sacramento. Sacramento just not very good this year. And then you've got the other game that's going to be on Prime Video, and that's the Oklahoma City Thunder, SGA, and those dudes. Best team in the NBA, right? I know my Spurs beat them 3 times, but they're still the best team in the NBA. Taking on Golden State. I think I saw that Steph was not going to play this game. I think that's what I saw. So if Steph's not playing, because I thought even if Steph was playing, and I don't know that Draymond's playing, but I thought even if they were healthy, even if Golden State was healthy, I don't think they were going to be able to beat. Now, they're playing at home. I don't think they were going to be able to beat OKC. If Draymond's out, I think that's what's all. But I think I saw Steph wasn't due back till tomorrow. So without Steph Curry, I definitely don't give them a chance. Now, Golden State has been playing better as of late, but this is OKC coming into town. You need to be fully healthy playing your best game against this team. So I don't think Golden State's going to win, especially if Steph's not playing tonight. For OKC, they do have some injuries, but they're deep. They're really, really deep. And so they've had this record even with injuries. So they're just that good. So I have OKC going into Golden State and winning that game. And then the final game, you have Memphis traveling to L.A. to take on the Lakers. Now, the Lakers, Austin Reeves hasn't played, he's been injured. I think that hurts the Lakers offensively because obviously those 20-something points that he consistently can give you is something that the Lakers need. Now, Luka Doncic is going to get 30 to 35, whatever a game. Luka's Luka. He's going to give you his point. He's going to give you the points no matter what. LeBron doesn't give you those 30-point games anymore, but he can still help you win some games, right? Defensively is where this team is bad. Like DeAndre Ayton, like my partner James Johnson, like he really likes DeAndre Ayton. I'm not big on DeAndre. I don't think he's, he doesn't woo me like, okay, they got him. He's going to elevate the Laker defense. They just don't play defense. And that's going to hurt them down the road. Now, their record, I think, is something like, let me see what I can see here, 20-11. So their record is just as good as San Antonio. They're up there with OKC. They're up there with Denver. They're not as good as those teams, right? Like I said, defensively, they're bad. And once they get Austin Reeves back, that will really help them offensively because if you're not really good on defense, the next best thing you can do is score a lot of points so you can win games, right? So Austin Reeves will allow them when he's back and the points that he provides, give them an opportunity with Luka to be able to win some games. But defensively, this team is still not very good. So will they be able to stop a healthy Denver in the playoffs? Will they be able to stop SGA and the Oklahoma City Thunder? Will they be able to stop San Antonio? And look, the Clippers, let's talk about the Clippers here for a bit. The Clippers are playing pretty darn good now. They're on a couple of, I think, 5, 6, 7-game win streak. I'm not sure. Kawhi Leonard is playing great, playing more minutes. Man, Kawhi gets back to being Kawhi, and all of a sudden, you better be starting to pay attention to that other LA team, right? So, not saying all of a sudden that, the Clippers are going to be great, but they're starting to show signs that they can be one of these teams that can contend should Kawhi Leonard stay healthy and continue to play these minutes that he's been playing on a regular basis. So we'll keep an eye on the Clippers. But the Lakers, they're going to be there. Obviously, they're going to be in the playoffs. You got Luka, you got LeBron, so you always got an opportunity. But when it comes down to a series, and I'm saying this early on, I don't think I'll change my mind here unless I see something different. But to me, if you can't play defense and you have to play these teams and you have to play, 7 times possibly, and you have to win 4 out of 7 times, they're not set up to beat these good teams in the West. The Lakers are. So we'll see what happens, but that's where I'm at now. But for this game, I definitely have the Lakers beating Memphis. So those are my predictions. I'll come back later here. I'm going to talk a little bit of NFL. I'm going to create another podcast for Saturday's game. There's 2 good games I'm going to watch tomorrow. Just going to tune in and watch these games because I have a lot of interest in these games. I want to know who wins. I think it's going to be exciting to watch the NFL tomorrow. So I'll definitely come on later on tonight, and I'll talk about the 2 games that are scheduled for Saturday. For this podcast, it'll be uploaded. If you want to see the entirety of this podcast, you can go to GT Sports. You can catch it on YouTube, on the GT Sports YouTube channel, or on GT Sports Spotify. If you like what we do when we talk NBA, if you like what we talk NFL, we're going to be talking MLB, we'll be talking wrestling, we'll be talking boxing, we'll be talking UFC, we'll be talking soccer, we'll be talking volleyball, softball, baseball. If you like this podcast and you like what we do, and we're going to be bringing in other sports people to come in and talk and probably debate and disagree. But if you like what we're doing and you like checking out our podcast, then I'd ask that you go into the GT Sports YouTube channel. I think I have over 200 subscribers, and hit the button and hit the subscribe button so my numbers can hold. That's how you can support me, is by going in there. I want to get my numbers up. And look, I just come out here. I'm not a professional, right? I just like coming out here and talking. I do watch a lot of sports. I do watch and I do read a lot of stats. Like, this is what takes over my life day after day because I love it. So I like to come on and share my thoughts and my predictions, and hopefully I'll stir up a debate with sports fans that love sports the way I do. So that's what we do here on GT Sports. This is GT Sports 1 channel, but we do GT Sports Professional College, and then we also do the GT Sports High School. So there's one page, but we talk about college, GT Sports, the college and professional sports, which is NBA, NFL, and we also do the GT Sports High School, which is also high school football, high school baseball, high school soccer. We put up picks. So one channel talking about high school and / professional and college sports. So it's a lot of fun. That's what I say. That's what I do all day. I call games, live stream games. So sports takes over my life 24/7, and I love every bit of it. So again, if you like what we're doing, there'll be some clips from this podcast that'll be shared over to the GT Sports Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. But if you want to see the entirety of the podcast from start to end, you can catch that on GT Sports Spotify and YouTube channel. And James should be back on Monday with me as we continue to talk more college. The Final Four, we'll definitely get into that. College, women's and men's basketball. And then, of course, there's still the NFL and anything else that should be hitting the headlines for sports. Until then, man, have a great night, and I'll see you soon to talk NFL. Hope you enjoy this podcast.